One of the most powerful storytelling tools at your disposal is also one of the most underutilized. When you put this into effect, you can grab people's attention and keep it throughout the length of your story. What is this tool? It's curiosity. Just by the nature of how I open this video, I may have created curiosity in you. The reason most people fail to effectively use this is because they, to use a term from the movies, they give away the ending too soon. They do that by making a bullet-pointed type of presentation where they give facts and figures instead of laying out some curiosity to get people to sit forward to want to hear what comes next. One of the best examples I've seen of this in the last 20 years is the movie Titanic. Now, if you haven't seen that movie, this is a spoiler alert. My guess is if you haven't watched it in 19 years, you probably aren't going to rush out tonight and watch it, although I think you should from a storytelling standpoint. But the reason I love this story from its curiosity standpoint is think about this. People walked into that theater in 1997 and they knew one thing. That boat was going down, right? They knew it. They still devoted 3 hours and 20 minutes of their lives to watching this movie. Another point is that in the beginning of the movie, in the first 5, 10, 15 minutes, the heroine of the story, Rose, is on board a research ship, and she's probably 95 years old at the time. So we knew she survived. Knowing that, why did we still watch? Because we wanted to know how. How did she survive? What happened to all the other characters and players who were involved on the ship? James Cameron brilliantly used the Titanic as a metaphor. As the water levels rose on the ship, so did the tension between the characters in the various situations that were presented. He kept us curious all the way to the very end to see what would happen with Rose and Jack. Now, I know you may not be trying to create a Hollywood blockbuster, but your stories can create that same level of tension so that people want to hear more. How do you do this? Well, there are 3 ways I've found. There are others, but 3 effective is to, first of all, ask a question. When I do speech and presentation skills coaching, I often will open up with a question like this. How much better would your business be? How much more fun could you have in life if you could triple your number of prospective clients? Well, what I've got people doing there is thinking about their lives, their businesses, and they're also creating the question, how? How can I do that? Now, I can start by just giving the facts and figures on how they do it, but I don't create that interest, that lean forward moment where people want to hear more. Another way to do this, a second way, is to make a startling statement. You could say something like, unless the government changes this one policy, the odds of our children living the kind of lives that we have lived is almost impossible. Well, again, this creates more curiosity. What policy is he talking about? Why won't our kids be able to live the same lifestyle? It keeps them wanting to hear more. Now, the third method is actually a technique you can use in the middle of a story to keep people's interest. In one of my stories that I tell called Full Throttle, I make this statement. Bob then said 4 words that calmed me down immediately and changed the way that I handle stressful situations for the rest of my life. Now, in that story, the 4 words that Bob eventually says to me are, you can do this. Now, I could have just come right out and said that in that moment in the story, but I don't create curiosity. I want to let people know. He said something that immediately had a positive impact on me, and it has helped me throughout in my life ever since. So I create that curiosity. What did Bob say? And also, how did it help Mike? So those are just 3 examples of how to create curiosity. There are others. Those are 3 that I like. So what I challenge you to do in your next story is share it and get feedback and ask people, am I creating that curiosity? Do you want to hear more, or am I giving the ending away too soon? Do this, create more curiosity, and you'll find that there's a lot more interest in your stories, and you increase the chances that people will act on your message. I look forward to speaking with you in our next tip.